This is the Washington Times front page for Thursday, October 17th, 2024. Thanks for joining us. I'm George Gerbo. Thousands of Republican and independent voters picked other GOP candidates in the presidential primary, and Vice President Kamala Harris is trying to win them over to break her battleground state tie with former President Donald Trump. The Harris campaign has launched a Republicans for Harris Walls Blitz, Jeff Murdoch and Susan Ferricchio report. It features Republican luminaries, lesser-known party officials, and longtime voters who dislike the former president so much that they're willing to support Harris despite her policy positions. With so few votes separating the two candidates, this narrow block of voters could tip the race. Former President Trump is claiming to female voters that states will be lenient on abortion limits. Seth MacLachlan reports Trump told a Fox News Women's Town Hall that he is happy that the states, not the federal government, are hammering out the issue. He noted that some states are adopting more liberal abortion laws and some of them are not, and regarding stricter limits, that they're too tough and those are going to be redone. Abortion has generated political headwinds for Trump since three of the justices he nominated to the Supreme Court helped overturn Roe v. Wade in 2022, sending the issue to the states and feeding concerns about the future of in vitro fertilization. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky says the Russia-Ukraine war could end next year on terms favorable to Ukraine if the U.S. and NATO back an ambitious five-point victory plan. Ben Wolfgang reports Zelensky told the Ukrainian parliament that his plan would end the war and guarantee his country's security for decades. The plan calls for NATO to immediately extend a formal, unconditional invitation to Ukraine, provide additional arms and satellite data, and help Ukraine deploy a comprehensive non-nuclear strategic deterrence package. A NATO invitation seems wildly optimistic and centers on theoretical U.S. policy moves to allow Ukraine to strike deep into Russia with American weapons. Scrutiny of the Secret Service in the aftermath of two assassination attempts on former President Trump has led some lawmakers to question the agency's home in the Department of Homeland Security. Lindsay McPherson reports members of Congress have complained that the department has not been cooperative enough with its investigations into the attempts and has too many missions to provide effective management of the service. Lawmakers have suggested moving the Secret Service back to its original home under the Treasury Department, under the White House, where its top-level protectees are, or under the Office of the Director of National Intelligence, which could help the agency better analyze and manage threats. San Francisco encountered pushback from the Supreme Court's liberal justices in a case with the Environmental Protection Agency over city wastewater spilling into the Pacific Ocean. Alex Sawyer and Stephen Dinan report the dispute centers around how much power Congress gave the EPA in the Clean Water Act. San Francisco said it would abide by a 300-page permit for its wastewater discharges, but not vague EPA rules that cover the odor of fish or the discoloration of ocean waters. The city said those regulations amount to moving targets that are impossible to hit. The court's liberal-leaning justices suggested that Congress wrote the Clean Water Act to give the EPA wide-ranging powers. And finally, South Korea and the United States have accused North Korea of supplying massive numbers of artillery and rockets to Russia in its war with Ukraine. Andrew Salmon reports North Korea and Russia signed a strategic partnership in June that called for each party to aid the other if invaded. The Ukrainian surprise military incursion into Russia's Kursk region recently may trigger the treaty. On Monday, Russian President Vladimir Putin presented the treaty to Russia's governmental body for ratification. Find all today's front page stories at WashingtonTimes.com/front page or on the Washington Times app, and find us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on social media at Wash Times for breaking news, sports, commentary, and more. For the Washington Times, I'm George Gerbo.